You know what's fascinating? The ancient Stoics could spot a fool from a mile away, not by what he did, but by what came out of his mouth. Marcus Aurelius once said that a man's words reveal the quality of his mind. And nowhere is this more obvious than in the 5 phrases we're about to expose. If you've ever caught yourself saying these things, don't worry, because recognizing them is the first step to breaking free from the mental prison they create. But here's the kicker. Stupid men don't just say these phrases occasionally, they build their entire identity around them. And that's exactly why their lives never change. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll understand why Stoic philosophers considered these words to be the ultimate sign of weakness, and more importantly, how eliminating them can transform everything about how you think, act, and live. Let's start with the first phrase that stupid men love to repeat like a broken record. It's not my fault. Now, before you think this is just about taking responsibility, let me tell you what the Stoics really understood about this phrase. When a man constantly blames external circumstances, other people, his upbringing, the economy, his boss, or even the weather for his problems, he's doing something far more dangerous than just avoiding accountability. He's surrendering his power. Epictetus taught that we don't control what happens to us, but we absolutely control how we respond. And the moment you say, "It's not my fault," you're basically announcing to the world that you're a passenger in your own life. Think about it this way. When something goes wrong and your immediate reaction is to point fingers, you're telling yourself that you're helpless, that you're a victim of forces beyond your control. But here's the truth that stupid men never grasp. Even when something genuinely isn't your fault, the way you react to it is entirely within your control. The Stoics call this the dichotomy of control, and it's the foundation of their entire philosophy. A wise man doesn't waste energy complaining about what he can't change. Instead, he focuses every ounce of his attention on what he can control, which is his own thoughts, actions, and character. So the next time you're tempted to say, "It's not my fault," pause and ask yourself, even if that's true, what am I going to do about it now? That shift in thinking, that tiny mental adjustment, is what separates men who achieve their potential from those who spend their entire lives making excuses. The second phrase that immediately identifies a stupid man is this: I deserve better. Listen, everyone wants better circumstances, better relationships, better opportunities, but there's a massive difference between healthy ambition and entitled whining. When a man constantly says he deserves more, without putting in the work to earn it, he's revealing something ugly about his character. The Stoics understood that the universe doesn't owe you anything, and thinking otherwise is a fast track to misery. Marcus Aurelius, literally the most powerful man in the Roman Empire, never once wrote in his meditations that he deserved his position or his privileges. Instead, he constantly reminded himself that everything could be taken away at any moment, and that his job was simply to do his duty with excellence, regardless of what he received in return. Contrast that with the modern man who works a mediocre job with mediocre effort and complains that he deserves a promotion, or the guy who puts minimal energy into his relationship and wonders why his partner isn't more affectionate, or the person who makes poor financial decisions and then resents others for their success. See, when you say, "I deserve better," you're operating from a place of lack and victimhood. You're measuring your worth against external rewards rather than internal character. The Stoics would tell you that the only thing you truly deserve is what you've earned through virtuous action, discipline, and persistent effort. Want a better life? Stop demanding it and start building it. Want better relationships? Become a better person. Want more opportunities? Develop more valuable skills. The moment you shift from "I deserve" to "I will earn," everything changes. Your energy goes from resentment to action, from complaint to creation. Stupid men wait for the world to give them what they think they deserve. Wise men create value and let the rewards follow naturally. Now let's talk about the third phrase, and this one is particularly insidious. I'll do it tomorrow. Procrastination isn't just a bad habit, it's a philosophical disaster, according to the Stoics. Seneca wrote extensively about the poverty of time and how we waste our most precious resource by constantly assuming we have more of it than we actually do. Every time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," you're making a bet that tomorrow is guaranteed, and it's not. But beyond the obvious issue of mortality, there's something deeper happening when men habitually postpone action. They're living in a fantasy future where conditions will somehow be better, where they'll have more motivation, more time, more resources, more clarity. But here's what the Stoics knew that stupid men never learn. Conditions are never perfect, and waiting for the perfect moment is just another form of cowardice. When you constantly defer action, you're not just delaying tasks, you're training your brain to be weak. You're teaching yourself that discomfort should be avoided, that temporary inconvenience is a valid reason to abandon your goals, that future you will somehow be more disciplined than present you. It's delusional thinking at its finest. Marcus Aurelius would start his day reminding himself that he might not see the end of it, that this could be his last opportunity to act with virtue, courage, and wisdom. That kind of memento mori thinking, that awareness of death, wasn't meant to be morbid. It was meant to light a fire under him to take action now. So when you catch yourself saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," recognize it for what it really is. Fear dressed up as planning. The task you're avoiding won't get easier tomorrow. Your motivation won't mysteriously increase. The only thing that changes is that you've lost another day of your finite life. Start treating today like the only day you're guaranteed, because philosophically speaking, it is. The fourth phrase that marks a stupid man is, "That's just who I am." This one drives me crazy because it's basically a philosophical surrender disguised as self-acceptance. When someone says, "That's just who I am," in response to criticism or when justifying a character flaw, they're claiming that personal growth is impossible, that their nature is fixed, that change is beyond their capacity. The Stoics would find this idea absolutely absurd. The entire point of Stoic philosophy is self-improvement through reason and discipline. Epictetus started life as a slave and became one of the most respected philosophers in history. Marcus Aurelius was born into wealth and power, but had to work daily to overcome his natural tendencies toward anger and frustration. These men understood that who you are today is not who you have to be tomorrow. Your character is not a fixed entity. It's something you build and rebuild every single day through your choices. When a man says, "I'm just not a morning person," to justify sleeping until noon, or "I'm just hot-tempered," to excuse his inability to control his emotions, or "I'm just not good with money," to rationalize poor financial decisions, he's creating a prison of his own design. He's giving himself permission to stay small, to remain flawed, to avoid the hard work of transformation. But here's the liberating truth. You are not your habits. You are not your past. You are not even your current thoughts. You are the consciousness that can observe these things and choose differently. The Stoics practice this every single day through their discipline of desire, their training of perception, and their commitment to virtue. They knew that becoming better required admitting that you're not yet who you should be, and that admission isn't weakness, it's the beginning of wisdom. So the next time you're tempted to hide behind, "That's just who I am," ask yourself, is this really an unchangeable fact about my nature? Or is it just a comfortable excuse that protects me from the discomfort of growth? And finally, the fifth phrase that stupid men constantly repeat, "Life is so unfair." Oh man, if there's one phrase that would make the ancient Stoics shake their heads in disappointment, it's this one. Yes, life is unfair. It always has been, and it always will be. Good people suffer, bad people prosper. Talent goes unrewarded while mediocrity gets promoted. Diseases strike randomly. Accidents happen to the careful and the careless alike. The Stoics weren't naive about any of this, but here's what separated them from the complainers. They understood that fairness is a human concept that we project onto an indifferent universe. Nature doesn't operate on principles of fairness. It operates on principles of cause and effect, probability, and chance. When you complain that life is unfair, you're essentially arguing with reality, and that's a fight you will lose every single time. Marcus Aurelius faced plague, war, betrayal, the death of children, and constant political scheming, yet he never once wrote that any of it was unfair. Instead, he focused on responding with virtue, regardless of circumstances. He asked himself, given this situation, what is the excellent thing to do? Not the comfortable thing, not the easy thing, but the virtuous thing. See, stupid men think that pointing out unfairness somehow changes their situation or earns them sympathy. Wise men understand that complaining about unfairness is just wasted energy that could be directed toward adaptation and growth. The universe doesn't care about your complaints. It's not listening. It's not going to adjust itself to meet your expectations of fairness. So you have exactly two choices. Waste your life resenting the unfairness of it all, or accept reality as it is and work within it to create the best possible outcomes. The Stoics chose acceptance, not because they were passive or defeated, but because they were practical. They understood that peace comes from aligning your expectations with reality, not from demanding that reality align with your expectations. Now, if you found yourself cringing because you recognize some of these phrases in your own vocabulary, that's actually a good sign. Self-awareness is the first step toward change. The ancient Stoics didn't believe in beating yourself up over past mistakes or current weaknesses. They believed in honest assessment followed by committed action. Starting today, you can begin eliminating these phrases from your life, not just from your vocabulary, but from your thinking. When you feel the urge to blame someone else, pause and ask what you can control in this situation. When you catch yourself feeling entitled, shift your focus to what you can offer rather than what you think you deserve. When procrastination whispers that tomorrow will be easier, remind yourself that today is the only day you're guaranteed. When you're tempted to hide behind, "That's just who I am," remember that you're always in the process of becoming, and you get to choose what you become. And when life's unfairness threatens to overwhelm you, return to the Stoic fundamentals. Focus on what's within your control and accept what isn't with grace and wisdom. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 5 phrases resonated most with you. And more importantly, share this message with someone who needs to hear it, because the chances are you know at least one person who's stuck in these patterns and could use a wake-up call delivered with some ancient wisdom and modern clarity.